Okay, good afternoon, students. We'll start the class now. The recording is started. So let's allow the meeting. Oh, fine. So in the last class, we discussed about consultant, isn't it? So we have discussed about what is consultant and what are their responsibility. They governed by CAI. Okay. So in today's class, we'll discuss about contractor. Okay. So we'll discuss about what is contractor means and what are the role of contractor, especially where we'll talk about especially in construction work related. Okay, fine. Okay, allow me to first share my screen. I'll share my screen. So can you see my screen? Anyone, please respond in chat box. My screen is visible. Okay, thank you.
Yes.
So yeah, so I think you can see here the topic name is given here. So consultants. Okay. So role governed by CE. Oh, sorry, this one to already done, right? Okay, sorry, it was the previous one. This one, I guess. Yeah, yeah. We'll talk about role of contractor. Okay, so governed by contracts and regulatory act and standards. Okay, so it's a very small topic. So I think you heard this term contractor so many times in your life. Okay, so what do you mean contractor? Who have bind by one contract? Okay, or who have promise to do something for you, and the promise is actually documented, which is called a contract. So the service provider is known as contractor, or something like that. Okay, so in a basic definition, what is contractor or a general contractor is what is a manager or possibly also a tradesman that is employed by a client. Okay, so a client can hire a contractor, okay, for a particular service. So general contractor is a manager or possibly, hold on a second. Yeah. So general contractor is a manager or possibly also a tradesman that is employed by a client, usually upon the advice of the project's architect or engineers. Okay. So as per the advice, if suppose you have some work to do, as a particular you are going to construct a building or something like that, so you have hired one engineer or architect. So that particular engineer may recommend it some contractor for particular specific job like cement supply or equipment supply or labor supply, means labor transportation or something like that. So there are different kinds of work related to your project. Okay, so for that you can go for one or individual contractor, or maybe one who can control the overall project. Fine. So a general contractor is a manager or possibly a tradesman that is employed by client, usually upon the advice of project's architect or engineer. A contractor or a general contractor is responsible for the overall coordination of the project. Okay, whatever project he is given under contract. Okay, so that particular work is under his responsibility. So general contractor must first assess the project specific documents, okay, referred to as like bid proposal or tender documents. I think these things already mentioned in the last class. So if you have something in doubt, then you can go to the last class notes or video, or you can also search in Google. You'll find a basic definition of what is proposal means, what is tender documents, okay, what is bid actually. Fine. So a general contractor must first assess the project specific documents, just like bid proposal or tender document. Okay, in this again, in the case of renovation, a site visit is required to get a better understanding of a project. There are some example. Okay, what they have to do in case of renovation, a site they must go for a site to visit or inspection. That is, a site visit is required to get a better understanding of the project. Fine. Depending on the project delivery method, contractor will submit a fixed price proposal or bid, and cost plus price, or it's also known as estimation report. Okay, so he also provides some estimation about how what is the cost should be particular work he was assigned for. Okay. A general contractor considers the cost of the home office overhead, general conditions, materials, and equipment, as well as the cost of labor, to provide the owner with a price for the project. So, in a simple way, a contractor is kind of mainly dealing with the actual project work. Okay, he's dealing with your material supply to that particular site. He's dealing with the equipment supply. He also deal with the labor supply to a particular area or a particular site. Okay, even the cost estimation also he going through all these details. Okay, so he's responsible overall of all the work that going on in a particular site, which is assigned under his responsibility. So it's a general definition. You will find a better definition also in Google. You can search what is definition of contractor as far engineering point of view. Okay, so there may be different definition. In general definition will be there. So it's better you go for. You can also find out that what do you mean by contractor, or what is the work of contractor in civil engineering work. Okay, so you'll find out. So let's discuss some responsibility of contractor. Okay, so yeah, it's a very simple thing you will discuss here. So we already discussed about the responsibility, but let's see some elaboration is there. So a general contractor is what? It's responsible for providing all the material, labor, equipment such as engineering vehicles and tools, and services necessary for a construction of the project. Okay, so I already given this given this statement before that contractor is what is responsible for your equipment supply, material supply. Okay, and vehicle means engineering vehicles and tool supply, everything. All this work is under his responsibility. That is, contractor should be responsible for all this regulation of the work and the service necessary for the construction of the project. That means whatever service needed in the construction of a work or on a construction field, he will be responsible. The general contractor will be responsible. A general contractor often hires specialized subcontractor to perform all or portion of the construction work. So here is some highlighted statement is there. Suppose you have hired one contractor for a particular job. So your work is to give his responsibility. Okay, but after that he can give subcontract and of particular job. Okay, suppose he has numbers of uh, area that you he is going to work on, that is like equipment supply, material supply, equipment and labor supply, like that. So he can also provide some subcontractor. For suppose for material, a different subcontractor will be there. For labor supply, a different subcontractor will be there. Even for equipment and engineering vehicle or tool supply, a different subcontractor will be there, like a vendor. Okay, so he can he's allowed to give that subcontractor to the other party. Okay, but but finally the supreme responsibility will be under your contractor. Okay, yeah, I repeat here, the general contractor often hires specialized subcontractor. So specialist means what? They are specialized in particular area. That means whatever. Suppose if I give an example of equipment vehicle. Suppose one company or a whatever say a company only deal with the equipment vehicles that required in a civil engineering work. I think you all know this about this. What kind of civil engineering equipment will be required in a civil engineering work. Okay, so suppose that one company is specialized or no, they are only dealing with engineering vehicle. So it's better to give a subcontract to a particular that company. Okay, so that they can give a proper engineering vehicle which run smoothly. Fine. So your work will be more efficient then. Okay. Next, when using subcontractors, the general contractors is responsible for the quality of all work performed by any or all kind of hires. So it means that as a client, if I say as a client, he will not be responsible. He will not be depend on subcontractor. Okay, he is only look forward to that uh, contractor. Fine. So contractor may give subcontract to other party, but final responsibility will be under his arm only. Fine. So that means when using subcontractor, a general contractor is responsible for the quality of all the work. That means the professional practice should be run smoothly. That means they should not be compromised with the quality. I'm talking about the subcontractor. So a contractor must, you know, inspection give a regular inspection over the work that he have given to the subcontractor. Since all the responsibility of quality management, it's also under is on your contractor only. Okay, let's see. Yeah. So I think it's very easy to understand what the definition of contractor and responsibility. Okay. Something here. One more thing is there. See, a general contractor's responsibilities may include applying for building permits. Okay, advising the persons they are hired by, securing the property, providing temporary utilities on sites, managing personnel on site, providing site surveying and engineering, and disposing or recycling the construction waste, monitoring schedule or cash flow, and maintaining accurate records, everything. So in this statement, it actually including overall in detail whatever the work he is going to be dealing with in a particular job. Okay, suppose you are going to construct a building. Okay, now for the construction of the building, whether it is residential building or commercial building, as a owner or as a client, you have to take a permission from the government authority. Like if I say I want to construct my home in Guwahati, okay, or whether it may be used by for commercial purpose or residential, whatever. It's be a residential, sorry, it may be RCC building, a G plus 3 or G plus 5 building, say, for example. So, for before going for construction, I have to take permission from the government. So, government means our GMDA, okay, or GMC. That is, it is called Guwahati Metropolitan Development Block, okay, or GMC, fine, or Guwahati Municipal Corporation. So I'm just giving example, fine. So I have to take this, I have to give this responsibility of taking the permission to a particular contractor. Okay, there are lots of specialized person out there in market, or you can see they're working in this area. They can provide you the mm, permission from the government. Okay, so as a lame person, I may not know what is the mm, actual procedure of taking permission from for a particular building area. Okay, so it may take time, it may costly also, fine. So it may also time consuming. So if I approach a specialized person, that suppose I you know approach a firm, engineering consultancy firm, that I want to construct one building in my area, this is at this land, so I want permission for that particular construction. So that means I have proposed one work for him, so he's work as a contractor. Okay, I'll pay him a whatever he as per that norms, whatever it cost of the permission. Okay, so he will approach the government on behalf of me, and he will try to get the permission for that land for construction of residential or your commercial building, whatever it is. So this is kind of a job. Okay, like a general contractor responsibilities may include applying for building permits, so they can apply for building permits. Okay, so advising the person they are hired by. So they can a contractor may also advise a client that what kind of structure he want. So since he is expert in particular area, he can share his knowledge. Okay, then securing property, so he will be responsible for security of particular land if he is given the responsibility for construction of particular building and that land. Okay, providing temporary utilities on the side, that means you can uh, make some houses for that labor. Okay, then you can go for boring for water supply, well, something like that. Okay, that's like or a boundary area which is or which is not be permanent. Okay, only for the construction purposes. this the temporary structure where it is built on the land. So this all responsibility also under this contractor. Okay, managing personnel on site, that means the labor, okay, the other personnel which are responsible for different different duties are given to them. So all are maintained or managed by this contractor, or providing site surveying or engineering. So surveying work or engineering work, all this work also be cross checked, or um, what is called look after by this contractor. Fine. And yeah, even suppose in the particular land, there was a already previously constructed structure is there, but the new construction will be done at a particular same area. That means we have to first destroy or dismantle that you previously constructed that structure. So after destroying the particular old outdated house or structure, that whatever debris will come, the waste, construction waste, how to utilize that construction waste in construction site is, it is also be a good great responsibility. This matter will be looked after by the contractor. Fine. So we can also go for reuse the construction waste also. Fine. So you can also go for detailed research about that, how a construction waste or construction debris can be used or recycled, okay, can be reused in a construction. Okay, you can go through this Google, it's very interesting project. So monitoring schedule and cash flow, how fund is invested in particular project. Okay, so I think it is already mentioned in the previous classes. So this the flow, the cash flow is also maintained by this general contractor. All whatever job is dealing with in the particular area, a particular site. Okay, so all these should be documented. Okay, and this documentation should be maintained maintained by this general contractor. So overall, all these things, overall, he is the main captain of the work, and he is will and the client, he will client will ask him about the progress of the job. Okay, fine. So I think you have got a little idea about general contractor. So this is all about today's class. Okay. So there is not much things to discuss about that. So anything to ask about contractor? I think it is very simple to understand. So you can also go through Google, or the link or video link is given in the ERP portal. Okay. You can also search in general in Google by yourself. Find out what is the actual meaning of contractor as per engineering point of view. Fine. You can find out. So is there anything to ask me? Anything doubt? So first let me stop my sharing now. Anything to ask? I think it is very simple to understand. You all heard about this term, this contractor. So I'll just stop my recording, okay, for the time being.